In the meantime, Tannenbaum, Graziano, Greeny ready to roll here with all your Football Friday, including the Cowboys. Here's what happened. They play their preseason opener Sunday against the Rams. They're going to do it without CeeDee Lamb. He continues to hold out looking for a contract. Yesterday, Jerry Jones was asked about a timeline. Listen to this.
Jerry, you're saying there's a sense of urgency as you begin the preseason to get CeeDee done?
No.
No? Why you say that?
I'm just I went to high school or I went to college. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just saying I don't know. I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done.
So I don't understand why he's laughing at that. So anyway, the Athletic's John Machota then tweeted that, saying, I don't have an urgency to get it done. And moments later, CeeDee Lamb quote tweeted it with the letters LOL. This was a quote tweet. He quote tweeted the tweet saying LOL. And it's worth mentioning, Micah Parsons retweeted CeeDee Lamb's LOL. So this is the 2024 version of like all-out warfare, right? Like we have social media beef amongst the Cowboys. Now, you talk to the people down there, Danny. I count on you. I mean, Jerry's laughing about not having urgency for a guy who is his entire offense. I mean, let's be as clear as we can be. CeeDee Lamb is that offense. So how should we be reacting to this?
Well, we often say on this show, what is Jerry always doing? He's negotiating, right? He's not going to say, oh, yeah, we're desperate to get this done. That's going to hurt his negotiating stance. So he says no. And then they ask him why he said that, and he's like, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm supposed to say in this situation. And then CeeDee quote tweets it and basically saying, I'm not buying that. Like, you're not going to scare me.
So this is just negotiating going on.
That's how I see it. Yeah, with Jerry, that's how I think he's always doing that. So, look, they've had conversations. They've gone back and forth. I don't see a situation where this doesn't get done. But I think it is fair to wonder what's taking so long.
You know, Green, to take the other side of that, when I sat in that seat and I was negotiating, I was very conscious of what my actions and words were going to resonate in the locker room. And if I'm a Dallas Cowboy not named CeeDee Lamb, I'm thinking like, if he's saying that about CeeDee Lamb, what's he thinking about me? That can really hurt morale. And I know that was not the intended consequence, but Jerry Jones should take a half a step back. You have a lot of good young players. They want to know when they're going to get taken care of. And if you're making fun of your best player, what do you think about me?
It's another example of the owner and general manager being the same person, creating a very unique set of circumstances. You were not the owner at any point while you were doing that. And so it does all play out kind of differently. All right, Mike, I need you to explain this to me. I remind anyone who doesn't know, Mike Tannenbaum was the general manager of 2 different NFL teams. And I've used this analogy while you were away. I used it a couple of times last week. I'm very bad at art, right? If you asked me to draw you a picture of an animal right now, and I did, you would never know what animal I was trying to draw. But when I was a kid, even I could color within the numbers, right? They would say, where you see a number 1, color it blue. Where you see a number 2, color it red. This is coloring within the numbers. All the receivers are getting deals. His draft class, he was in the same draft class as Justin Jefferson. He's been exactly as productive as any of them. Like, it is coloring within the numbers. Why is it taking this long?
I don't know. Take it a step further. It's costing them tens of millions of dollars. If they had done it in February, we all knew where the receiver market was going to go. Start with Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, on and on and on, all the way up. Tyreek Hill just got done. We know where Justin Jefferson is. It's at least $7 or $8 million a year, Green. So not only is it paint by the numbers, but on a salary cap system, when you want to get Parsons and Dak Prescott signed, every day it's costing you money. The sense of urgency they don't have has hurt them strategically.
Look, and I don't want to sit here and like sound like I'm defending them because I'm not. I think they probably should have done it last year, and they would have saved a great deal of money. But the way they operate, they're looking at it. We want to get CeeDee signed long-term, Dak signed long-term, Parsons at some point signed long-term. What does the cap look like this many years out? We have to structure the deal a certain way. I don't think it's about how much they're going to pay him. I think everybody sort of understands where that ends up landing. I think it's about how it plays, and how it's structured, the length of the deal, when he gets the money, all that kind of stuff. Same stuff we were talking about with Dak Prescott like 3-4 years ago.
Right, and that's why I need to push back at you here.
Yeah,
and I understand what you're saying.
Again, I know you're not their side.
But for the purposes of this discussion, you're the Cowboys.
All right.
Okay, I get that you are not. But because you have said that about Dak, somehow every other team figures this stuff out.
Yes.
Somehow every other team has a quarterback they need to get a deal done with, and they figure out what the cap's going to look like. like someday, and they get the deal done. They have a superstar receiver that they drafted, that they developed. They did everything right. They get the deal done. Every other team manages to do it.
I agree. They're a strange organization. They operate their own way. Jerry Jones likes drama. He likes the attention. He doesn't mind that this is a topic we keep talking about. At this point, with a month to go before the season, they don't feel like they've lost anything in terms of their preparation. This is how they operate.
Greeny, when you're running a team, you're looking at your division, and the juxtaposition of this is the Eagles, that they go out, they extend Devontae Smith, they extend A.J. Brown early, and oh, by the way, now they have room to go get Saquon Barkley. So, like, to me, if I'm the Cowboys strategically knowing I have these three great players, it's only going to get more expensive, and it's going to hurt you from improving your team.
And it's worth underlining that team has been in the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 or 6 years, however long ago that the Doug Peterson one was. So it's working. It's not just that they're doing it, but that there is obvious illustration. I'm willing to live with Dak walking. I'm willing to live at the end of this year with Dak walking. I haven't won anything with him anyway, so I'm willing to live with that. I don't know that he's doing that, but let's just even live in a world where he's doing that. CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons are the foundation of your franchise going forward no matter what. These guys don't grow on trees.
If you're not keeping CeeDee Lamb long term, then what are you doing? I mean, he's your first round pick. He has just turned in a monster season that ranks with anybody's. Like this is a guy he's caused you no trouble. Like he has been an outstanding player, an outstanding teammate, an outstanding citizen. He deserves everything that he's going to get. I still think he gets it. But I don't know why it's always so painful with them.
Again, we're in the ultimate people business. When you have a productive player who's high character, you pay them immediately and sends the right message to the locker room.
And the other part of this is, I've seen this a million times, we all have. You wait this long, what happens is he comes in. Yeah, of course he gets the deal done. He comes in, he's behind everybody else. He's trying like crazy to catch up to speed, and the hamstring goes. Ooh. It happens all the time. Happened with Darrelle Revis. That was your negotiation, right? And Revis comes in late, and the next thing you know, he's chasing Randy Moss, and the next thing you know, he's grabbing the back of his leg. And this just happens with players.
But I did have a sense of urgency, and
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you anymore. Last night, and this is maybe the most exciting play that we had, Mike T. This is Eric Gray of the Giants. Look at the juke and the 48-yard touchdown.
That's exactly right. He is fast and quick, and earned a roster spot last night. Could be their number 2 running back.
Yeah, he had a couple nice moves there. Giants played an interesting game against the Lions. We had the Panthers and the Patriots in a monsoon yesterday. So we had some preseason games, and we have more coming up tonight. And the most interesting one, the most interesting preseason game by far is tonight as the Steelers play their preseason home opener with Russell Wilson, still QB1 on the depth chart. But Justin Fields getting the start against the Texans because Russ still has that calf, or is rusty with the calf, whatever the deal is. I'm looking at Graziano's face. Why are you making that face as we look forward to tonight?
One man's calf injury is another man's opportunity. Like Justin Fields can show something, right? Like this isn't. It's not. We heard all offseason about pole position from Mike Tomlin. The fact of the matter is, these are two guys with a completely clean slate with this organization, this coaching staff. Justin Fields has an actual opportunity to beat out Russell Wilson and win this job, and whoever doesn't think so hasn't been paying attention.
All right, so we've not had Domonique with us for much of the morning. They had problems there with the electricity and everything, but now back. So let me ask it to you this way. They open against Atlanta in a month. That's when the regular season begins. If you're a cornerback on Atlanta, you're on that defense, who are you hoping they're playing? Which one of these two guys would you rather face, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Yeah. I feel like I flip-flopped on this question a number of times over the offseason, but it feels more apparent right now that Justin Fields would be the problem. Like, his dynamic playmaking has such a high ceiling. And they both kind of hold on to the ball too long, and we haven't seen the great Russell Wilson in a long time. So I think if I'm a defensive player, I'd be more concerned of seeing the Justin Fields that we saw last year against Detroit. That level of Justin Fields where he can throw pinpoint accurate deep balls and also run with the ball and weaken our defense, causing the safeties to have to get in the box and complicate the coverages on the back end for the corner. So I think Justin Fields is by far the scarier quarterback, honestly, for either side. I think he's probably scarier for the Steelers and scarier for the opponents.
So how does this decision ultimately get made, Mike T?
Well, look, Mike Tomlin gave us the answers to the test. He said, hey, what we do in the game is more important than practice. And Greedy, you made the point 2 days ago. I think when he said that, he was actually talking to Russell Wilson and Justin Fields that authentically this competition is wide open. And this is truly, to me, a transformational moment in Justin Fields' career. He can either start on a team that we know will always be competitive with Mike Tomlin, or he may wind up being a journeyman, being with 3 teams in 3 years. So his career, to me, is right now what a great opportunity he has.
The pressure is clearly on him tonight to perform, and we'll see. I'm looking forward to watching as much of it as he winds up playing. In the meantime, there's another player who sort of factors into all of this, despite the fact that he's not on the team, and that's Brandon Aiyuk. It felt kind of hot and heavy, like, oh, maybe the Steelers are going to make this deal, and then that clearly has quieted down. Where do we stand?
So a couple of conditions have to be met in order for a Brandon Aiyuk trade to happen. One, the 49ers have to like what they're getting back from the team. And, you know, if you're trying to get a receiver back, that's not a place where Pittsburgh is flush. So they have to figure out what the return will be. And then Brandon Aiyuk has to be sure he's going to get the contract he wants that the Niners haven't been able to give him or haven't wanted to give him from the new team. And so the fact that the week has gone on and we're at Friday, and it was, Monday or Tuesday when the story started bubbling up about the 49ers being willing to listen, that indicates that those conditions have yet to be met. And I think it's important for people to understand there's a world in which those conditions never are met, and he stays on the 49ers. But the 49ers, it seems, want a resolution on this as quickly as possible.
Here's how I see it. The reason we know he wants to go to Washington and team up with his own buddy, his old buddy, Jaden Daniels. I understand why, if you're Washington, you don't do it. You're still a ways away if you're Washington. You're not Brandon Aiyuk away from winning a championship this year. Why would you give up stuff when he is likely to be a free agent in this coming offseason anyway? I can pay him then and not give up anything to get him. What team makes sense? Does it make sense for the Steelers to give up compensation and all that money?
Yes, absolutely, because if we're running the Steelers, guys, next March we're looking at a wide receiver in free agency or the draft. He's young, he's explosive, Greeny, 25 career touchdowns, averages 14.6 per catch. That's hard to do consistently. He's outside the numbers, he's fast, he's been productive, and it fills a need. Now you can put George Pickens where he should be, more physical inside. See what you have with Roman Wilson. Now all of a sudden with Justin Fields, and Nick touched on it, Justin Fields can be a really good playmaker at quarterback with Brandon Aiyuk. This is a different looking offense than it was a year ago.
That's the key, Nick, to me. A final word on this. What would the acquisition of Aiyuk mean for the chances that Justin Fields can really make something of this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it improves the chances of any quarterback that acquires Justin Fields. But it's shocking a little bit because it's one thing that we've always been able to rely on the Steelers to do is produce linebackers and receivers, especially receivers in recent years. It seems like a little bit nonsensical for the Steelers to go out and acquire one because we know they can find one or make one at any point in the draft. So it is clear that they need one, though. So at this point, if you're trying to find out what you truly have in Justin Fields, then maybe bringing another quarterback in, or bringing another receiver in will really help him take the pressure off and allow him to be the best version of himself.
Look, the way they've operated lately, I mean this literally, they're kind of not your grandfather's Steelers anymore.